Okay, how we doing out there, brothers and sisters? Welcome back to another edition of the Black Revolution Podcast. Welcome back. I am your host and your Commander-in-Chief, Steve. And we got a great show lined up for my listeners here today. Very good show about a very, very serious and sensitive topic. Okay? So stay where you are. Go get something to drink, something to eat. I don't know. Get a snack, a beverage. And pay attention to this podcast because this is a very important issue that we have to deal with here. Let me just get my stuff together here on this computer. All right. Very, very important issue that we have to deal with today. And that is the issue about what's going on in Haiti right now. We're going to talk about TPS, right? We're going to find out what that is and what it means. But more concerning than TPS is that we have a great divide among the sons and daughters of Africa. And when I say that, that may make the skin curl on some people, sadly. Black people, Black Americans like myself, born here in this country. So what we've got happening now, brothers and sisters, is that we have Megyn Kelly. Let us start with Megyn Kelly. Y'all know Megyn Kelly, big time newscaster or what have you. And Megyn Kelly, before I get to the black issues, Megyn Kelly has made some terrible remarks about Haitians. We know that the TPS, temporary protective status of Haitians, is about to end, perhaps, or has it ended already? And what that means is that the temporary protective status of Haitians ends. That means that the Haitians will have to be sent back home to Haiti. Now, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with it is that the country of Haiti is in an uproar. The people are starving. There's no government in Haiti. It's been taken over, right? Haiti is in a bad way right now. To send someone home to Haiti is like sending someone home to World War I after it was over, to war-torn Germany. There's nothing there, right? The people are there, but there's no real political body there governing things, right? The people are very poor and in the dust, and it's sad. It's very sad. I hate what's going on in Haiti. And for the TPS status to be gone away and they have to get sent back there, that's a travesty. It's immoral and it's inhumane in my eyes. And if America is such a country that's always concerned with the well-being of people and their humanity, how could you let TPS in and not renew it and send these people, the Haitians that are here, who contribute greatly to our society, right? How could you send them back there? What statement are you making? I'm totally against it. So let's see what TPS is. TPS, this has come off the internet. TPS is a U.S. immigration program that allows nationals from certain countries experiencing unsafe conditions to live and work legally in the United States temporarily. Temporary Protected Status, TPS, is a humanitarian immigration program established by Congress in the Immigration Act of 1990. It provides temporary legal status to nationals of countries experiencing ongoing armed conflict, environmental disasters, or other extraordinary and temporary conditions that make returning unsafe. TPS allows eligible individuals already in the U.S. to work legally and avoid deportation during the period of designation, but it does not provide a direct path to permanent residency or citizenship. TPS holders can, however, apply for other immigration benefits independently if they qualify. So this act was created by Congress in the Immigration Act of 1990. It provides temporary protective status for people who come from a war-torn country, a country that's in turmoil, poverty, a country that's in poverty. And this is Haiti for sure, right? So for Megyn Kelly, Well, I can't say that I'm surprised at Megyn Kelly's statement. First of all, just let you listen to Megyn Kelly's statement.
And look, this has been going on for over a dozen years. Go home. Get out. We know our country's better than yours. That's because we filled it with our work ethic and our culture and our values. You being here only dilutes it for us, those who built it and live it. And half of you people, more than half of you, won't assimilate. We don't want you. We don't care if you're offended. Get out. Go home. Go back to Haiti. Sorry. I'm thinking about our friends in Ohio who've been dealing with these TPS Haitians for years now, who are drunk driving all over their towns and killing people. This is the whole cats and dogs thing. Like, they don't want to live like Americans live. And this was supposed to be it was supposed to be temporary help. And it's turned into another backdoor way of allowing someone permanent residency here. And they take advantage of all of our public services.
So there you have Megyn Kelly. Okay, we've heard everything that she has said, right? I have to say, I'm not surprised at Megyn Kelly and others like her. This is not shocking to me. Her statements about Haitians here, go home, go back to effing Haiti, right? They're criminals and murderers and this and that. This talk is not surprising to me coming out of the mouth of Megyn Kelly, who has made racist statements in the past, not only about black people, about Muslim people, Arab people, right? So this here to me is not surprising at all. What we're hearing from Megyn Kelly, excuse me for the background noise, people out there mowing the lawn. But this is not surprising to me coming out of the mouth of a Megyn Kelly. What's more surprising to me, more disturbing to me, is that the words that are coming out of the mouths of people from FBA, foundational Black Americans. Oh God, they're saying some very terrible, terrible things about Haitians, Africans, and Jamaicans. And it's based, I believe, or it's predicated on the belief that not all Black Africans came from Africa. Right? All of us didn't come from the motherland. We are indigenous to this land. This is what they're saying. They're saying that the original Indians were all black. Fine. I'm not going to argue that. I don't know enough of that history to be able to argue that. What I do know is the classical history written by our classical scholars, such as the late, great Dr. Eric Williams. A world-renowned scholar who has had other scholars from around the world embrace his work, co-sign it, and say that it's correct. One of the greatest works that this man has ever written, among others, is the famous book that came out years ago that everyone that's conscious knows something about, especially if you're around in the 1980s, in the 90s, when the Black movement of Black unity was really at its heaviest point, because you had the God bodies out there, the 5% nation. You had the Muslims. You had the brothers there, the Nuwapian brothers underneath Dr. York, et cetera, that all preach Black togetherness, that all preach that Africa is the motherland. We come from Africa, right? So this book that I'm talking about is called Capitalism and Slavery. Capitalism and Slavery. If you pick the book up and you read it, the late, great Dr. Eric Williams will tell you that when the slaves first came to America, the Americas, the New World, they were brought to an island called Hispaniola. They were brought there to work. They were brought to the South America, the Brazil, Cuba, et cetera, et cetera. So when they first came, the name of the country was called YT, right? IT, Haiti. The island was broken in half. One side went to the Dominican Republic. The other side went to the Haitians. And from this land of Haiti and Jamaica, the slaves came up all through the Caribbean. They came from Africa. Okay? This is how Haiti, Dominican Republic, all of the New World people that mixed in with the Indians, this is how they got there. Because shiploads of Black Africans were coming from Africa. And then I believe in 1609, somewhere's around there, a Dutch boat robbed another slave boat and brought them to the New World. Huh? You're talking about the Chesapeake Bay area, Massachusetts, Boston area, Maine, and brought the first shiploads of black Africans into the New World. Where was that boat coming from? Africa. So after we were brought here as slaves, we were in slavery here, enslaved for 400 years, right? They say. We won our independence. We won our freedom through the Civil War. We won our freedom through Civil Rights Act. There's a whole movement, another 100 years of fighting. But the fact is that we originated from Africa. Now, here's the disturbing part, brothers and sisters. I'm going to now play a clip from you, from some of the FBA's foundational black Americans who want to cut themselves off from Africa. I'm going to play just one clip because it's very upsetting to me. And I think foundational black Americans are mostly made up of young people. I don't know, but that's what it seems like to me. So this clip came from TikTok. And I'm going to play it because it's a panel that's open and you have foundational black Americans that host the panel. And then you have black people from Africa, from here, from there. Okay. Concerning the origins of African people here in America, I want you to take a listen to this clip. Then we'll be back to talk about it.
Turn purple.
Go ahead, on copper, because go ahead.
First of all, this is our land because this is where our ancestors are from. What part of that you don't understand? Can you tell me that?
Your ancestors are indigenous to America?
Yes, they are, ma'am. I got documentation. I got plenty of chiefs on my tree. You laughing, but I bet you can't pull up one motherfucking document of your people even being African. Pull it up. Let's go. Let's go ancestor for ancestor. Let's go ancestor for ancestor, girl.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Let's go ancestor for ancestor.
Hold on, copper. MK, do you think that you think this not our country? With all due respect, right? I'm not saying that it's not your country, but you're not indigenous to here. You guys are just as like the same.
Lynch, you got us fucked up with your motherfucking great grandmammy.
Hold on. Why wouldn't we be indigenous here? Where do you think we come from?
See, she's sitting up here, purple, talking about the white T-man, all along believing in the bullshit he done told her slow ass.
Oh my God.
Well, there you have it. Right? There you have it, man. We're not indigenous to Africa, right? The young lady was saying, you're not indigenous here. You come from Africa. There's an argument from FBA. No, this is our land. We're indigenous here. We come from here. Let's go ancestor for ancestor. Well, I will tell you now that the ancestors are turning in their graves. They're turning in their graves now, listening to this frivolous argument from ignorant FBAs. And I'll say it, that they're ignorant. Yes, every book I've ever read by white and black scholars that had education, like John Henry Clark, like Eric Williams, and many, many more, have always, like Ivan Van Sertima, always traced our lineage back to the motherland of Africa. They have written very, very extensive tomes on black history, Egyptian history, Ethiopian history, to show where we come from as a great people who once led this whole globe. How do you disassociate yourself with the homeland, the motherland of Africa, FBAs? How do you do it? How do you have so much hatred in you that you see your Haitian people? You see your Haitian people. Who are you? Who share the same skin that you share, the same hair that you share, the same genetic makeup that you share, and the same origin from the motherland. How do you speak about these people like they have nothing to do with us? And worse than that, you speak about the Africans from the motherland. They are not us. We don't have anything to do with them. What kind of madness is this? This is madness. It's a sin and it's a shame. Is it ignorance? Because if it's ignorance, ignorance can be cured. All you have to do is pick up a decent book and read it. If it's hatred, then I don't understand that. How do you hate your own self? How do you hate your own people? We've been talking very long now about a concept that we understand very, very well. And that concept is divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. If you are divided, you can be conquered. We have plenty examples of it. Go out and read a book called The Sins of Our Fathers. The Sins of Our Fathers. And you will read that the French, the English, all came to Africa. They wanted to get black slaves. And they were dealing with the nobility, African kings draped in gold from head to foot. And had to come in humbly and to soften up. They were trying to get the African kings and the rest of the nobility to go into the interior to hunt black people, to take them back for slaves, because the white man at that time didn't know how to go into the interior of Africa. He needed skilled people to do that, to lead him there. To get the people, the nobility, in the right condition mentally to do this, what did he do? He brought trinkets and he brought French whiskey. Got the Africans drunk, the nobility and his court. And I said, yeah, sure, all right, yeah, come on. There's warring tribes in Africa. They don't, who cares about warring tribes and POWs? Yeah, sure. French whiskey and trinkets. So when they were able to divide people on the African continent, they were successful. Same thing in Iraq with Saddam Hussein. How do you think he got toppled? Oh, there's a population of Sunni Muslims there, which probably made up the majority in Iraq. Oh, but there's also a population of Shia, very big population of Shia Muslims. You play to both sides, right? You play to the Sunni Muslims underneath Saddam, give them arms and power to go and destroy the Shia and the little Kurdish Muslims. And then you also play to the Shia, huh? Now, when you don't need Saddam Hussein anymore, you play to the Shia, you give them power, you get Saddam hung up and killed, and now you establish a little kangaroo political order in Iraq. See, divide and conquer. As long as you are divided as a people, you can be conquered. Now, let me tell you what's worse than that for us black people. I predict that a time is coming when all of our black behinds are going to be back enslaved. I've been saying this forever on the internet. And like always, when you're dealing with ignoramuses and foolish people, I had a group of black people come after me. Oh, he's a rapist, he's a child molester, he's a this. Bullshit that they would make up because I speak out against them. I speak out against my own people for the wrongs that they commit. Against our own people. Black on black crime 24 hours a day. Gang shit, right? I say that these are the most detrimental organizations to black folk, and they make me public enemy number one. So 5 years now, they've been dragging me up and down the internet. That's fine. I don't mind. You know why? Because when you get a true revolutionary, someone that's true to the cause, this is the path, man. They did it to Malcolm, huh? And I could never be a Malcolm X. No. They did it to Khalid Muhammad. I could never be him. They did it to Marcus Garvey. I could never be him. But I come from that same cloth. So do as you will. But now the world is getting ready to see where the true problem lies in. And who is more correct in their thinking. Huh? Because the world is witnessing now the collapse of all our black race, starting with FBA here in America. The world is seeing how foolish people are. Us African Americans, when we're cutting ourselves off from our black people, when we're saying we have nothing to do with Africa, those are not our people. They have nothing to do with us. The world is seeing how backward you are now. The world is seeing it. And the world, sadly but truly, the way that I think what will happen is going to witness the re-enslavement of African Americans here in America. Why do I say this? Immediately, what we can see now that speaks to this is the new gerrymandering that's happening in the southern states once again. Alabama, Louisiana, North Carolina, South Carolina. Redistricting the maps to take away the black vote, to hinder, to stifle the black vote. This is a play. This comes out of the playbook from the civil rights movement, Reconstruction. You know the history. I don't have to repeat it here. That's happening in the South. What's happening in the North? I told you a long time ago, 1996, Rudolph Giuliani was the mayor. I believe that was the years. Those were his years, 96, 94, 95, something like this. Maybe incorrect, but you get the gist. Rudolph Giuliani does something very extraordinary that we hadn't seen before. Rudolph Giuliani says to people who are on welfare, if you want to receive monies from welfare, get your rent paid, get your food stamps, you now have to work in a program that's going to give you peanuts, something that's very disrespectful as a human being to receive for wages, which is $91.50 every 2 weeks in food stamps. Yeah. To get that, you had to go into these work programs. If you didn't get it, you didn't get the money. At least you could still get food stamps. See, they planned these things years and years ahead. Now, many years later, in 2025, 2026, Donald Trump, your sitting president, he now makes up something called the Big Beautiful Bill. And located in the Big Beautiful Bill is a clause that deals with welfare, those who are on welfare. It now says, if you do not work, join the work program, not only will you not get your $91.50 every 2 weeks in your rent money and food stamps, but you won't even get Medicaid. You won't even get Medicaid. I don't know if you guys know what that means. I don't know if you know, but I'll tell you what it means. It means now a certain percentage of the population, which consists of a great number of blacks and Hispanics. Of course, whites are on there too, right? It means now that a significant part of the American population are now serfs. Serfs. You don't know what a serf is? Go back and study Greek history. Or we can be considered something closer to sharecropping. On top of this, convict leasing is already back. If you don't know that, go study Alabama, Mississippi. See how many great big franchises, chains in America, very well-known chain stores, staple stores that we shop and buy from every day have contracts with jails in the South that lease convicts to them right now as we speak. Huh? Talk about Alabama. Huh? They're leasing out the convicts there to work in McDonald's and different franchises, paying them peanuts. Some of them even getting their parole ignored. Their date is just ignored. Or when they do go in front of the parole board, they're automatically denied because the jails, along with the parole people, come together in cahoots to keep them in jail longer, deny them parole or probation, whatever it is, so that they can continue to use them as convict leasing. And that they can continue to make the big money that they get from all of these franchises, like McDonald's, etc., that pay them for these prisoners money. And the jails make millions of dollars a year behind this system, the modern day convict leasing. So you put two and two together. You put convict leasing, you put gerrymandering here in the South where it all started, and then you add to that the clause in the Big Beautiful Bill of Donald Trump that says that in the North, if you don't work for your $91.50, you won't even get Medicaid. You can see that there is, how do you say, have you ever seen a herd of sheep where the shepherd just corrals them in and pushes them into, you're being corralled back into a position of slavery. You don't see it coming, do you? No, you don't. African Americans. Oh, I forgot. I can't use the title African in front of American no more. I just have to say Black Americans, right? Cut your roots off from the motherland. You don't see it coming because most of you don't have the knowledge. You probably haven't studied history sufficiently enough to see it coming. But I see it. This old wise cat, this old wise cow here. I see it. I'm like the owl, man. I'm wise. I've studied history. Huh? Why do I say another form of slavery or outright slavery is coming again for African Americans and all Africans around the world? I've been saying this for the past 5-6 years. Huh? A new power is looming its ugly head over America and all of the superpowers. America will give way to a new power. Power in the world that rests in the hands of America now will shift to another nation. The same way it shifted from Great Britain to the United States after World War II. Power will shift. Power is about to shift from the hands of America into the hands of another nation that's sitting out there. Another nation who America and Great Britain were preparing since 1948, beyond 1940, 1917, 1919. Great Britain and America were preparing this nation to take the helm. And we're almost at this place. But I'll tell you something about this nation. I told you I'm going to be talking about it here on this podcast, so please stay tuned. The problem with this nation that's going to take power from America is that it is racist. It is a racist nation. Yes. Here we go again. They're blowing, cleaning my yard. Please forgive me. Not my yard, but my workspace. So please forgive me for the noise. I'll wait for her to do what she has to do. And she can move on. Sorry about this, brothers and sisters. But power in the United States is about to be passed on to another nation that we, not even we, the American government and the British government have been preparing for years now. It's a very small nation right around the Middle East. It sits in the heart of Israel because it is Israel. My prediction is that Israel will be the next power in the world that will take over from the United States and rule the world. You ask me why I say this is biblical prophecy. That's number one. Biblical and Quranic prophecies. That's number one. Number two, politically, everything points to it. Donald Trump is a sitting president who caters to whom? More than any other president that I see right now is down to Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu's his greatest friend. He allowed Israel to slaughter the Palestinians, to decimate their homes, their homeland, to decimate the West Bank, to bomb children, to stop food from coming into the country, aid, vital aid that was needed for the Palestinian people. He allowed it. He allowed now the United States and Israel to go in and bomb Iran, bomb a school full of children. Same thing. I ask you, do you think Donald Trump wanted to do that? I say no. I say no. Trump did not want to bomb Iran. Before the war started, Trump was telling Iran, listen, you will not get a nuclear program. And that was basically it. After the first strike, he claimed that they had already sufficiently destroyed all the possible nuclear sites or factories where the Iranians were enriching this uranium, hoping to try and get a nuclear weapon. He announced, we have sufficiently knocked them all out. They have no capability to make a nuclear weapon. But then just days later, it came back up again with the rhetoric. Iran is still enriching uranium or whatever the hell the name of that stuff is. And they're this close to making a nuclear bomb. Well, excuse the hell out of me, Mr. Trump. You said days, weeks before that you took care of all of that stuff, all the plants. Now, all of a sudden, you have to go back in. They're still doing it, right? What caused this, I say? What caused this? You see, you know what I'm talking about right now. There was a man named Jeffrey Epstein who's dead now. So they say. I think he's still alive, but okay. There was a man named Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a Jewish man, a mogul, a money mogul, very, very smart in mathematics. Jeffrey Epstein became a millionaire, billionaire. He knew mathematics so well that some of the American billionaires felt comfortable with allowing him to take care of their finances. And they gave him lavish gifts, lots of money. Lavish gifts like his mansion there on the Upper East Side that was given to him by a billionaire. I forget his name right now, but you know who I'm talking about. What people didn't understand about Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell is that these people were involved in a blackmail ring. A blackmail ring. It is not so much that Jeffrey Epstein was just a freak and he loved sexual acts with all these women and underage people. That's not the only thing that happened there. That's not the gist of why Jeffrey Epstein and company were doing what they were doing. The goal of Jeffrey Epstein and company, Ghislaine Maxwell and her dad, and many others that we still don't know about, was to provide services, parties, entertainment, sexual services to very prominent people, especially politicians, especially millionaires and billionaires that could affect how the way politics are being run in this country and abroad. Why would Epstein want to do something like this? Why would Ghislaine Maxwell, her father, and all the rest of them, why would they want to get these influential, very powerful, financially powerful people in a trap? Answer is it's because what you see Donald Trump doing right now. That's the answer. They want Israel. Israel that is there now are made up of Caucasian Jews who converted to the religion once upon a time. They're not the original children of Israel. No, that's me and every black person probably here in America. We don't even know that. We don't know that. But you're going to learn when you're here on this podcast. Trust me, you're going to learn. Yeah, I said it. Israel, the ones that are in the Bible that you read about from the earliest days of Noah and Shem and Japheth and all of these people, Ham, that's us. That's us. We'll get into that on another episode. So if that's us, it stands to reason to ask the question, then who are these Caucasian Jews who speak the Hebrew language, who know Aramaic, who know Arabic, who celebrate the Torah and they keep it? Where they come from, they seem like the Jews of the Bible. They know that history better than anybody else. The answer to that question lies in a book called The 13th Tribe by a man named Arthur Kessler, where you will find out in that book the period, the time frame of the conversion of the European Jews to the religion of Judaism happened shortly after Christ was crucified and after the diaspora, when the Romans kicked the Jews out and they went into the diaspora. Grab that book, Arthur Kessler, The 13th Tribe. We're going to be going over some passages in that book very soon in upcoming podcasts, okay? But once again, that book explains to you where the European Jew came from and in terms of his conversion to Judaism. So it is now these European Jews who have read the Bible and they've read the biblical history and they have assumed the position of the children, the original children of Israel, they have now become more vigorous about going to the Holy Land and making it a home for Jewish people than the original Jews, who probably don't even know that they're Jews. It is these people who established what we call the Zionist movement in 1896. That's the way it began, with a man named Theodore Herzl, an atheist. And then in 1897, they held the Great Council, and they convinced the British government to make a home for them in the Holy Land. Hence the Balfour Declaration by Lord Balfour. So these people are in the Holy Land right now. They took it over with the assistance of Great Britain. You know that history. Lawrence of Arabia, where they succeeded in breaking up the Islamic Ottoman Caliphate. They played the Arab Caliphate, the Arab leaders against the Byzantine Turkish leaders, got them to fight. And then a European prince rides in with Arab fighters to fight off the other Muslims. And that's the end of that. That's the end of that. And you can think a man named Abdul Aziz ibn Saud, who is the grandfather of all the Saudis now in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, you can thank him. Who took a very small, insignificant amount of coin from the British government to betray Islam. Yes. Remember we said divide and conquer? So this is how the European Jew was able to enter. After they conquered, Lawrence of Arabia, this man, he rushed in with the Arabs and they conquered Israel. They set up a kangaroo political order. And the Jews, European Jews, start spilling into Israel from everywhere. Russia, Poland, Ukraine. And they come back and they say, this is Israel. This is the biblical Israel. That's a lie. America wins the war. She takes over from Great Britain. She has the same relationship with the European Jew. She's devoted to maintaining and nurturing that Israel that is over there now, with the claim that that Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East, and we're going to support it. We're going to get intel, et cetera, et cetera. So Donald Trump and other powerful figures did not understand that when they befriended Jeffrey Epstein, they did not just befriended him. They befriended a terroristic organization that moves very slow and quiet in the background throughout the veins of many governments in our world. And they provide services, immoral services and practices to these political powerful people to get them in a bind, to get something on them that they can use against them in order to get them to do their will. Hence, Donald Trump bombing Iran. I have witnesses to this. I was in the house with my wife and I said, Donald Trump just bombed Iran the second time. I said, wait a minute, just days before he said Iran is no longer a threat in their nuclear program. I said, now watch this. No, matter of fact, excuse me. I said, because Donald Trump didn't want to bomb Iran when Israel requested him to. I said, babe, watch the Epstein files open up right now, and Donald Trump's name is in the middle of it. As soon as Trump announced that he would not fulfill the request of Israel to bomb Iran, the Epstein files came to light. And inside of the Epstein files, you know what was there? Donald Trump was having relations with a 13-year-old girl. Donald Trump that. And then all of a sudden, it went back underground. It was put away like it never happened. And Donald Trump, I'm telling you, Iran, they're still making nuclear bombs and weapons. We're going to bomb them. And then he goes in and he bombs. Excuse me. Just like with the Prince of Britain. What's his name? Prince Henry, I believe. You saw him inside of the Jeffrey Epstein palace or compound with some woman on the floor. He's kneeling over her with his hands on her. We don't know the context. But I guess somewhere along the line, this prince didn't do, and he was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. Even after Jeffrey Epstein was released from prison, there's pictures of him and Epstein in Central Park and at the Epstein compound. I don't know. Maybe he didn't do something that they wanted him to do. But they revealed him, and his national royal status has been revoked. His family turned back on him. He's been thrown out of the royal mansion over there in Britain. This is how these people work. They get things on you, hold it, and if you don't do what they want you to do, they'll hold it against you, so much so to get you to do their bidding. Now, this is what's happening with Donald Trump to this day. Trump, every move he makes is being underwritten by that imposter state of Israel. Yes. You can disagree with me all you want. You can call me a Jew hater or anti-Semite. That's not true. I don't hate all Jews. I know all Jews are not involved with this, but I do know that state of Israel is an imposter. I do know the people who call themselves Jews in that land are imposters, and they have hijacked the identity of a whole people. How did they do it? After they converted to Judaism, and they went to mandatory Israel, in order to have residence there, one of the stipulations was that you had to change your name from your Eastern European name. You know, like Benjamin Netanyahu's name, his surname is really Milikowski. So you had to change that into a Hebrew name, like Benjamin from the tribe of Benjamin. Netanyahu, this is all Hebrew. That was one of the conditions of you going into Israel, the new Israel. When they did that, they effectively hijacked the identity of a whole different race of people. So why do I say that black people eventually will go back into slavery in this country? Because that power that is looming over the heads of all other superpower is Israel. And when Israel gets into power and she becomes the ruling state in the world, your black ass will experience racism once again. This time will be worse than the first time. Yeah, it'll be worse than the first time. You won't even know it, but you'll feel it. Some people say Israel already controls the world, just needs to be announced. I can see that. But the problem is that Israel, following their Talmud, the tradition that Jesus Christ so vehemently denounced, that got him put up on the cross, that Talmud says about black people that we are cursed and we are to be slaves to the rest of mankind. God cursed us. Our skin is cursed. Our hair is cursed. Our eyes are cursed. We have big, long horse genitals. That's a curse. Yeah, man. You don't know this, black people. See, you don't know this. Go get the Talmud if you think I'm lying, if they give it to you. You got to study the Talmud and you'll see what they say about black people. In the meantime, I want you to go out, my Christian brothers and sisters, especially you guys who want to support the Zionist movement, go out and watch a documentary, which is still online right now, called The Other Israel. And you'll see how those Talmudic Jews feel about Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior, the one who went to the cross and died for your sins, you say. You'll see how they feel about him. You'll see what they claim he's saying from hell as he's burning in hot excrement. So, yeah, you Christian Zionists out there, I implore you, go and watch the documentary called The Other Israel, and also learn what they did to Ted Pike, his wife, and himself after he exposed the demonic belief systems in those volumes of demonic work. So go do that and then put it in the comment section to my podcast. Leave a comment. What do you think about it? So back to foundational black Americans. I beg you to imbibe the lessons from history about divide and conquer. When you're talking about you are not African and they have nothing to do with that, you are in monumental error. This is a monstrous betrayal on your hands, at your hands of the black race. You are in monumental error, monstrous betrayal of the black race, the universal black race. Fix yourself, FBAs. Study diligently like you've never studied before, and be honest. Don't let the hating words of a few ignorant Haitians or few ignorant Africans talking about they hate African Americans, we're ignorant, we're stupid. Guess what? It's a very small percentage of them that claim this. You can never blame the whole race of anyone based on the actions of a few idiots. Okay? That's not the opinion of the majority of Haitians. It's not the opinion of the majority of Africans. It's not the opinion of the majority of Jamaicans. And all three of these people, you want to kick them out as if we have no ties at all. This is this is ridiculous. I've never seen this in my life. This is sacrilege, brothers and sisters. Our black scholars, Van Sertima, Clark, these guys, Walter Rodney, these guys are turning in their graves now because you're betraying all of the great work that they did, the great struggles that these people went through. Walter Rodney was killed because he was speaking the truth down in the Caribbean, brother. They bombed his car and murdered him to shut his mouth. So he could not wake up the people and show them how they were being exploited for their work down in the Caribbean. Yo, you brothers, FBA, wake up, man. Please wake up. You're betraying the cause. You're betraying our people, man. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here now, man. I feel like I've said enough for this podcast. I'll be back again. I beg you, people who hear this podcast, subscribe if you have not subscribed already. Hit that subscribe button right now. Don't listen to these foolish, ignorant people from amongst us telling you about me and all nonsense, all nonsense. We have work to do here in this country. African Americans, Haitian Americans, Haitians, period, Africans from Africa, Jamaicans. We have to bind together now because they're trying to finish all of us off and put us back in a place of servitude. And if we're not smart, they will succeed. I'm calling on every melanated person in the world. And this is not racism. This is calling on our people because of some things that are happening in the world that are designed to destroy us. There's no racism here. We welcome all people. We love all colors. We don't love racist people, whether they're white or any other color. So let's join together, all black people, all people of color all over this globe, and let's stop this nonsense dividing our rings. Until the next time, this is your brother Steve. I bid you peace and love. Goodbye.